Hey, what's up guys, Rampedi here. It's a new episode. There's a lot to talk about. Kaizer Chiefs are 14th on the log. Who's to blame for that? Orlando Pirates, are they title contenders? So close but yet so far for Banyana Banyana. We have to talk about it. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
Let's kick things off with Stellies taking on Swallows. It was a game that was played. It wasn't played at Swallows' home ground due to the fact that COSAFA Cup was going on for the women's. So they had to play this game at the Wit Stadium. How much of a disadvantage was it for them? I think it was quite a lot, considering the fact that Stellies took all the 3 points. And a big win for Stellies. Huge win. Huge win because it's only their second win. You know, this team drifts throughout the season. You don't see them as much. But eventually they find themselves always having to be in the top half of the league as well. Ngomezulu, his goal, class, pure class. The way that he hit it, I thought the technique was really good. And what I like about Stellies this season, before in the previous season, they would play on the counter, they would play in the transition. But this time around, you find them further forward. You find them trying to dominate games. And that is something that is good in terms of what Steve Barker is doing at the club. And then the Swallows. I mean, I spoke about Swallows a couple of weeks back on my show. I was worried about the squad, the quality of the squad, and they proved me wrong in some games because they came from behind. They won some games. They got some points. But you're starting to see frailties within Swallows. And what is the frailty? Look on screen, right there for you. Only 1 clean sheet this season. 7 games in and 10 goals conceded. And if you've watched the Swallows game, they're always going behind. They're always going behind. And even if when they take the lead, they always happen to concede as well. And that is something Dylan Kerr has to sort out if he wants Swallows to be in a much better position. From what I've seen so far, I don't think they will battle relegation. But to be fair, we're still far off from saying that. But I think there's good things to say about Swallows in terms of positivity. But at the back, they really need to key it up. And the transfer window is still open. So if the chairman wants to do something about it, he can. A result that nobody saw coming this past weekend. Chippa United. They beat Amazulu away. I mean, what a performance. And I tell you what, they punished the 2 mistakes Amazulu made within that game. The big errors that they made. Of course, Mphahlele had that handball. They scored the penalty. But one thing's for sure with Chippa United, they were more offensive. They were more on the front foot. It's almost as if like they caught Usutu off guard in the way that they played. You could just tell Amazulu was not expecting Chippa to play like this, considering the fact that when they played against Sundowns, they sat back for about 85 minutes. They sat back the whole game. So they came in there, very offensive. Azola Matrose on the wings as well, getting a goal as well. I love that player. And I got to tell you something, man. Even though Chippa United got this result, we have to talk about what happened earlier on in the week. And that was the departure of Dane Clayt, leaving the club. Jeez, man. You don't see this happening anywhere in the world. The man had 7 games. 7 games. And this is what his record looked like. He had 7 games. He had only 1 win, and he lost a couple of games. But he also drew a couple of games. And I think Chippa United have to also be realistic with themselves in terms of where did they expect the club to be? Like, where did they honestly expect the club to be? And especially Chippa Mbengezi, I got to tell you, I was disappointed. I was disappointed in him because of the way he spoke about Dane Clayt. The way he spoke about him in glowing terms. And the fact that he's got this qualification. He's from the area, Eastern Cape. He knows the players. He has been training the youngsters as well to come into the first team. And you only give him 7 games. And I got to tell you, it's not something to celebrate. It's not something to celebrate. The fact that this club has only been here since, what, 2010? And already you've had about over 20 coach changes in the dugout. And the question has to be asked because I wish he was sitting right here. And if he's watching this, and Chippa Mbengezi, I could say it to him as well. What do you want to do with your club? Where do you want to go with your club? You know, do you want to develop? Do you want to win trophies? Do you want the reputation of the club to grow? Because if that's what you want, and that's what I think you want, because that's what you say in interviews as well, of what you want for Chippa, you want them to retain the status, but is it just retaining the status? You don't want to win something for the Eastern Cape people? Until we see that, and I tell you, for the changes that keep coming, the stability will never be there. And unfortunately, the club will never progress. Whether you like it or you don't, they will never progress. Big win, no doubt, against AmaZulu, but whatever you do next, and I trusted you with Gavin Hunt, man, and I trusted you with Dane Clade. So forgive me if I'm very cautious with the next appointment who comes in, but a very big win, and that's for AmaZulu. A shame. But I think it's a hiccup, and I think you guys will be able to pick yourselves from there. Mamelodi Sundowns hosted Golden Arrows this past weekend at the Tuck Stadium. It was a great game. I have to admit, it was a great game. We saw Siphesihle Ndlovu getting a start, and as well as Sipho Mbule as well. He got a start. Was really impressed with how Sipho Mbule played his game. Ndlovu, you can tell that he's still trying to get into the flow of things with the Sundowns side, but I think he did really well on where he was playing in the left-hand side. Golden Arrows playing on the counter. I was really also impressed with the speed that they had. You could tell that they had a very obvious game plan in the sense that when they win the ball back, Bilo Modi's supposed to make the run. Mutiz was also supposed to make the run as well. But Sundowns' quality prevailed. Yeah, Sundowns' quality prevailed. One thing I loved about Mamelodi Sundowns, point number one, is the fact that they were so patient. They were so patient within this game. They waited because Golden Arrows, the defensive line, their shape was very well structured. But Sundowns took forever and they waited and waited until they found the breakthrough. The one pass from Mbule to Shaulile. And you saw the strength Shaulile had to win that penalty. I mean, this guy, I posted that video that you guys watched about him having to earn his 5-year deal, and deservedly so. And a player that I can just see scoring goals for a long time to come, and already he's running away with the golden boot, you would say, because he's on 6 goals at this moment. And the rest, you can see the 3s and the 2s and the 1s. He's already going away with it. But also, with the fact that they took the lead, I think one thing they will be beating themselves up is the fact that how they let Arrows come back into the game, how they left Moody having to have so much space to take the shot. I mean, it was a cross-come shot, and eventually it went in. It was hard for Ronald Williams to deal with that. But Sundowns, the class that they are, they turned up the tempo, and I've said this word many times when I speak about Mamelodi Sundowns, is them adapting. They're just able to just see how the opposition is playing, and they're able to pick up their tempo. And the big thing for Roland Mokoena and as well as Mangoba is the fact that they didn't have to be at their best. They didn't have to be at their best. And already they got the 3 points, and they sit top of the log. I can tell you now, we haven't seen the best Mamelodi Sundowns. Ronani said it as well. I think he's been watching some of these clips because I've been saying it. I can't wait till all their players are fit, because eventually that time will come, and maybe it might just come after the World Cup break. Question: are Orlando Pirates title contenders? I'm starting to believe they are, guys. Their performance against TS Galaxy, and let's make it clear, TS Galaxy is no weak team. TS Galaxy got points off Mamelodi Sundowns. TS Galaxy, the way that they play with their possession, I mean, this is not a bad side, but the way Orlando Pirates dealt with them in the first half, I gotta tell you, man, it was really brilliant what I saw. And it was the perfect game for Orlando Pirates. If you've watched Orlando Pirates this season, when they counter, this team is very dangerous. And the fact that TS Galaxy had so much of the ball, and eventually when you have the ball and the team has to move forward gradually, when Orlando Pirates wins the ball back in that counter press, when they win the ball back in that transition, they're so quick. You can't stop them. They're so quick. And I tell you, TS Galaxy found that hard to deal with. And you saw the goals that were being scored, Lepasa, but it turned out to be a Msimango own goal. And then the second goal came from Lepasa as well. You would say it was luck. I mean, he was not trying to finish that. He was trying to find Dion Hoto. But he got the goal. And it's a goal that he needed to boost his confidence. And it's another thing that I spoke about. Orlando Pirates strikers, they have to take these opportunities, because I think Orlando Pirates are going to assess the situation up front, at the end of the seaon, does Radiopane come back? Does he become the main man? And Lepasa as well, he's been getting a lot of abuse on social media. There was even a time that he reacted, and it kind of showed that some of the things that are being said on social media is getting to him. So the fact that he got that goal and he also created the other one will do his confidence a world of good, but he has to be consistent. No, he has to be consistent. That's the only thing I want about Lepasa, because he's got it. You remember the time when he was at TS Galaxy and he was carrying that side, when they were playing in the Petrus Motsepe Foundation Championship. He was carrying that side. He took them to the final. He beat Kaizer Chiefs with that penalty, and unfortunately, when you score a winning penalty against Kaizer Chiefs, it does shoot you up to stardom. But now people are expecting consistent performances from you. And he had that long-term injury, but now he's back. So the only thing is that it's a great start to get those goals, to create the goals as well, and make the runs, because I have seen effort. The run against Maritzburg United, the effort is there. The only thing is that you got to keep putting the ball into the back of the net on a consistent basis. That's all it is. And especially for the side that Orlando Pirates is, they create a lot of chances. So back to why I say Orlando Pirates are title contenders. It's not the fact that they score goals. They hardly score goals. They know it themselves. Did you guys know this game against TS Galaxy was the first game they scored 2 goals in a league game? The first time this season. It's always been 1-0, 1-1, 1, or nil. They don't even score at all. But this is what makes them title contenders for me. At the back, they don't concede. No, they don't concede. Look at these numbers. They keep clean sheets. You can see that. They hardly score, but they keep clean sheets. And that's what Jose Rivero's plan is, to build up from the back, and his defense is doing really well. And I got to tell you, they say strikers wins games, right? But defenses win championships. But I will also say, I have to see you against Mamelodi Sundowns, and then I can have a full assessment. I need to see them up against a side like Mamelodi Sundowns. And I can't wait to have that tie with the MTN8 when they face each other twice. But so far, to answer the question, Shakes Rampedi, are Orlando Pirates title contenders? Yes, they are. Let's go to the only game that was played on Sunday. Maroon Gallants going up against Kaizer Chiefs. Maroon Gallants, gotta start off with you guys, because how you guys did not walk away with 3 points is so unfortunate. It is so unfortunate. I thought Maroon Gallants played so well. The way they kept possession, there's a saying that says the best way of defending is to keep possession. And that is what they did. They did it so well that it was so hard for Kaizer Chiefs to even throw punches at this team. And Sogota had the first big chance. He didn't put it away. And then eventually, with Maroon Gallants, when they got their chance, he puts the ball down the middle in Ndlovu, and there was the finish that was done as well. And I got to say, the fact that they kept possession, I think even the red card helped Kaizer Chiefs too. I will say that with Maroon Gallants, there's a plan in which that they're trying to play. And that is definitely something that you can see. But we have to talk about the other team, Amakosi. The team that is supposedly rebuilding. I couldn't believe what I was watching. When I woke up on Sunday and I checked the log, before I went out, I saw that Kaizer Chiefs was sitting 14th. I couldn't believe what I saw. I said, what, 14th? I mean, 14th, you're 1 place off relegation promotion playoffs. Like, you're 2 places off automatic relegation. So when they were going up against Maroon Gallants, a team that supposedly is supposed to be in disarray because they lost a coach. And then when the 90 minutes happens, I couldn't believe my eyes. Because it looked like the team in yellow from Johannesburg were in disarray. There was no plan that was put together. I mean, they were saved by even the red card because they couldn't lay a glove on Maroon Gallants. Even the goal that Kwinika scored was offside. And one thing that surprised me the most was how predictable Chiefs were. Always trying to get the ball out to the left to Sogota, and hopefully he crosses it in, or hopefully he takes a shot. That was so predictable. And the other players not standing up as well. And it leads me to the question, because this is alarming, man. This is alarming. It's alarming because that team did not play like they were 14th. That team did not play like they were desperate to get out of that situation. That team did not look like a team that was rebuilding. No. Who's to blame? I mean, the players. I have to go at the players as well. You know, we need to give them more time to gel, no doubt. But you can't tell me overnight these players are bad. You can't tell me Yusuf Mat is all of a sudden a bad player. You can't tell me Stebe is all of a sudden a bad player. Benny McCarthy was vouching for this player to play for Amazulu in the last couple of months that he was at Amazulu. You can't tell me he's a bad player. You can't tell me Ashley Dupree is a bad player. So I'm going to go with them in terms of I want more from them. And I'm going to demand more. Keegan Dolly, you're an international. A Bafana international. You can speak a lot of languages, no doubt. But you're a Bafana international. I expect more. You guys are not 14th place. I don't think they're giving enough effort. I got to be honest, I don't think so. But I will say this. In their defense, the coach, Atazwane, I want you to do well, man. I do. I really want you to do well. And I've spoken about you many times. I even vouched for you to get into the hot seat. But these players are not coached right. They're not coached right. And that's the hard honesty that I have to come with, is to say, when he talks in a post-match interview, when he talks in a press conference, I said it in the video that I posted on Twitter, I don't see what he's saying there translating to what's happening on a 90-minute pitch. I don't see it. So the coaching needs to get better. It definitely needs to get better. Even after one of the subs. The timing of the subs. Which subs to put on? I felt like he's made some bad decisions there. Player usage. Sometimes did he overuse a player? Did he underuse a player? Does he know what's his best starting 11? Identity. What is the identity? I've seen so many phases, and don't get me wrong, it's rebuilding, and I don't think there's any party in this country, I would hope, that watches football at the level that I watch it on, expect the Chiefs to win the league, but they're not 14th place. And that's the reality. They're not 14th place. And unfortunately for you, Atazwane, that performance against Maritzburg will live in the minds of people that watch the game. If you can play like that, you can surely replicate it again. So the fact that those standards have dropped, that's questionable. Who's to blame? I think both parties are to blame. But I will say with Atazwane, man, I think he must be given time. He will definitely be given time. But if this team finds itself in a relegation position by the time the World Cup break starts, I think management and I think Atazwane are going to get in the room, and I think an honest conversation needs to be had. Moving on to transfer news, we've had a big transfer. Siphesihle Ndlovu is joining Chippa United and Gavin Hunt. I mean, brilliant. Brilliant. I like this move. It's well thought out by SuperSport. I have to give them that. And he needed the move. Let's be honest. You know, Siphesihle Ndlovu needed the move. I felt like he became isolated at Orlando Pirates. He was not getting minutes as well. Very unfortunate. And the thing is about when a player goes from like a Maritzburg United side to an Orlando Pirates side and doesn't play, you tend to forget how good the player was. The attitude that he does have, I'm not saying he's at the level of this player, but he's got the same attitude that Kante has. He doesn't give up. He keeps going. He runs, you know, and I think he adds to SuperSport. He adds steel. He adds depth. He adds versatility and endurance as well. And the fact that he can play in so many positions, I think Gavin Hunt will love to have a player like this. And considering the fact that they beat Maritzburg United, his former side, and you can just see things are on the up for Gavin Hunt as they find themselves in the top half of the league. But, I mean, SuperSport, great acquisition. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. Another Champions League week. It's another Champions League week, and I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys saw last week, my bet won. My bet won. I'm good. I'm so good. And now this week, these are my selections. Leverkusen going up against Atletico Madrid, over 1.5. Bayern Munich going up against Barcelona. I'm going with a Bayern or draw and over 1.5. Liverpool going up against Ajax, over 1.5. Marseille going up against Frankfurt, over 1.5. Shakhtar versus Celtic. I've gone with a Shakhtar win or draw. Now, some of you guys are watching being like, he's so safe this week. Why is he so safe? I'll tell you why I'm so safe. Because my odds are 4.20. 4 times. I'm sure you guys were expecting me to say 2 point something. No, my odds are at 4. And I actually have a very good feeling about this bet. You got to make these selections right. But those are my selections for the week. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. It's the end of the show. Gotta always leave you with one thing though. Banyana, you guys might have not won the COSAFA Cup, but I want to give you a shout out because it was not the main squad. I think the experiment worked. I think the pool of players got bigger. Simpiwe Gluglu and the players take a bow. And for those who's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you're notified for future episodes.